All right, we are here with South Carolina head coach Boone Major. The Gamecocks at home on Saturday when they host Georgia at 1 p.m. in Blythewood. It'll be the team's annual Equifest Kids Meet. Coach, as you get ready for your spring SEC opener, just talk about how practice has been going this week.
Well, we've had a great week of practice. I think that coming off of our good win against UT Martin, the girls have really gotten refocused and have tried very hard to continue to get better this week. And we've done a lot of different things in practice and are trying a lot of new things, and would really like to see the continued improvement. And so far so good. We've still got a couple more days. So I think that, you know, by the time we get to Saturday, that hopefully these girls will be as ready as they possibly can be to compete against a pretty strong Georgia team.
Not having competed in about 60-something days heading into the Tennessee Martin meet, what did you think across the board when you went back and looked at the scores and the video of your team's performance?
Well, I was really excited. And actually, even immediately after the meet, one of the things we thought was this was one of our more well-rounded meets all the way around, not just of the girls that were riding and competing, but also the way the meet was run, the way the horses were warmed up. We just didn't have many glitches, and we seemed to go through the glitches very easily. And so I think because of that, it was just a very smooth event and made for a very positive experience for our team, which, you know, the two home events that we did in the fall were with the flood and everything, I think were not real positive meets. I think the girls did great, but I think that definitely affected their performance. So it was just nice to have a sunny day and to really see these girls come out and give it their all, whether they were actually competing or behind the scenes helping us out.
When you take a look at Georgia this week, and they're coming off already a big SEC road win at Texas A&M, when you look at what you know about Georgia and their roster, just talk about some of the challenges. It certainly could be a very tight competition this weekend.
Well, it could be a very tight competition. I think Georgia is extremely strong. When we were at their place in the fall, they looked very strong and seemed to have it together very, very well. I think to go to Texas A&M, which is a hard place to win, and to come out with a win down there last weekend was a great accomplishment for them. So I think, you know, we're going to have our plate full competing against them. I think they're going to give it everything they've got, like they always do. And I hope that our girls are going to be confident and ready to go and compete against them. But I'm not looking at them Georgia taking off the gas in any way, shape, or form until after the national championship. So I think we're going to see a very prepared Georgia team, and I think our team is going to be very prepared, and I think we'll see. It certainly helps to have a nice meet at home. I think the weather's going to be great, and so I think that's going to help us a lot.
With the exception of the November meet, it seems like in this series, the road team has always gotten the W, dating back for about the last 4 years or so. When you think about that statistic in relation to going to other places and competing, the fact that the road team somehow always seems to be able to pull ahead in this series, what does that tell you?
Well, I think it tells me that both teams prepare pretty well for away competitions. I think that our record hasn't shown that we've have done that well at away competitions, but I'm not too concerned. I mean, I think that we had some issues in the fall that we needed to work through. We're still working through a few issues here and there, but I do think that we would certainly like to break that tradition, which Georgia broke in the fall. So we'd like to keep it that way and break it this spring with the win. But I think that it just shows that it's two teams that are very well prepared and definitely have respect for the other team and are looking for ways to just come out on top.
Strong performances on both ends of your lineup. We'll start on the hunt seat side, just looking at your flat and jumping group. Just talk about what you've been seeing out of them and what you'd like to see out of them this weekend.
Well, certainly, again, we just talk about it over and over again about no mistakes. And I think really going for it and trying to, get out there and make as few mistakes, but not just ride the test, but ride the horse, and ride the issues that this particular horse has, and not just go out there and be a cookie cutter and ride every single horse exactly the same way, but just think about how each horse is affected by the way the pattern runs. And I think if they do that, each girl will be successful on that particular horse. So that's kind of what we're after them to do. Every horse is different. We want them to ride each horse differently so that it shows that horse to its greatest potential.
On the other side of that, your Western team coming off maybe one of its stronger performances results-wise on Saturday against UT Martin. You swept both MVPs on that end of the competition. Abigail Pate named SEC Horsemanship Rider of the Month for January on Wednesday. When you look at your Western side and the mix that you guys have been using with some of the more seasoned folks, Abigail, Kelsey Urban just got in on Saturday, Sarah Bouchard, and mixed in with some of the folks that you've been entering into the lineup sporadically, how have you felt that has been working for you?
Well, I think it's getting better, and I think we saw a lot of riders get their first point this past weekend, and I think that's kind of what we've been looking for, is a little more consistency, maybe even a little more camaraderie amongst the team, the particular team in that particular event, and I think we're developing that slowly. On the other hand, we're also looking at folks that are consistently making mistakes that maybe they don't get an opportunity to ride this weekend, that we're going to give someone else a chance. And it may be somebody that's new that may go out there and make the same mistakes. But, we've got to keep changing it up until we get to a comfortable lineup that we think is going to be effective going into postseason play.
This weekend will also be your annual Equifest Kids Day meet. I know it's always one of your more exciting home meets of the year, regardless of who the competition is. So the fact that it happens to fall on the Georgia meet certainly makes it that much bigger. But when you look at what you guys do for the Equifest Kids Day meet, the activities, the games that are planned throughout the day, obviously participation in it 100% free. From your end, from your team's end, talk about the opportunity to expose maybe some new children to your sport, to get them to come out and just take it all in.
Well, I think it's a great day. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a little chilly, but not bad. And certainly it's an afternoon meet, so it's not going to be crack of dawn, freezing cold. So I think it's a great opportunity to enjoy the afternoon out in the country. I think, as you said, to be able to expose some folks, even folks from in town. We'd love to see Gamecock Club people come out with their children. We'd love to see the local schools in the area be able to come out, not the schools themselves, but parents bring their children out. We've got, horseshoe decorating. We've got barn tours. We'll be feeding the horses carrots. And I think we'll be doing a lot of stuff that hopefully will expose some of the younger children to what a great experience being around horses are. And who knows, maybe somebody who comes in that group will end up being one of our equestrians coming down the road.
The last two national champions, these two teams combined for the last three SEC titles. They will meet on Saturday. Coach, we appreciate you joining us. We'll see you this weekend.
Great. Thanks, Corey.